I start jumping on people when they say, I'm not an artist, but, or I'm not very good at this, but don't say those kinds of things, I guess is my lesson for today. Because if you say them, they're true, right? So, what makes an artist an artist? How do you become an artist? And it's really quite simple. You become an artist when you decide you're an artist. Okay? So, when you create a piece of art, whether it's good or bad, the United States government stands behind you as the creator and gives you copyrights. They think you're an artist. Why don't you think you're an artist? So, how many times have you walked into a museum, seen something on the wall, and thought to yourself, I don't know why that's there? Well, someone thought it was art. Art is not the same for everybody. The things that resonate with me might not resonate with you. There's a couple paintings and a couple peat rugs that just, I don't know, it just makes my soul quiet when I can see it. And not every rug does that, right? Some are beautiful, but it's like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I move on. They have to have a soul for me to get excited about. And not every rug is like that. What is it for you that makes you consider a hooked rug art? And are you being too hard on yourself? I bet your rugs are better than what you think. Now, I'm in a program where every month, every day for the month of August, we have to go live into this private Facebook group. And it sounds like it's turning into a little bit of therapy because yesterday's lesson was, how do you see yourself and how do you think others see you? And what's the difference? So I'm betting you're saying, I'm not an artist, but, and there's someone out there looking at your rugs going, wow, I wish I could hook like that. So I think we need to be nice to each other, sure, but we need to be nice to ourselves. You are an artist because you create. You need to create in order to be to become an artist. So create more and the art will follow. I found a video on YouTube and it was the best drawing advice, or the drawing advice that changed my life was the title of the video. So just put that into a YouTube search and it'll show up. And it's an artist, his name, I think his at least tag name on YouTube is Struthless. And he talks about how a mentor told him to draw the same thing every day. And he did that. And he drew it. And he drew it. And he drew it this way. And he drew it that way. And he drew it with a hat. And he drew it this, he thought of every variation he could possibly come up with. He became an expert in drawing his particular subject matter, what he chose. You can become an expert too by hooking and studying the same thing over and over and over, hooking it many times. That's one way to become an artist. So I want to go up. I asked people at the beginning to type in when they felt like they became an artist. So Star said, when my Santa pillow was selected, and I'm assuming she meant selected by maybe Celebrations magazine or in some event. So she got external approval, okay, which is one way to consider yourself an artist. Joanne says, I was born with the disease. I have a classical art background. So yeah, some people, and I'm with Joanne, I kind of grew up that way. I got positive encouragement when I was little, and I thought of myself as an artist when I was a kid. When I became an adult, I felt like I had lost that title because I wasn't doing as much art. And it took a while for me to actually get to the point where you order your business cards And to me, that's sort of graduation. When you order your business cards, because wouldn't it be easier to have a little stack of them, even if you don't have a business, that you can give to someone, but the important thing is the title says that you're an artist. That's when you know that you've arrived. Even if you're not there yet, order those business cards and just look at that every day and know that you are an artist. So yeah, she clarified. She says she was selected for the celebration edition of the Rug Cooking magazine. Olivia says, I teach oil painting. So that's one way to consider yourself an artist. I think it's a little bit easier to consider yourself an artist if you're a painter. Okay, because that's the traditional way that artists express themselves. Heather says, I've been doing some painting for several years, and everyone who looks at them says I should sell them. And since I started to hook, I really feel with all your, there's the rest of it, teaching and encouragement that yes, I feel like an artist. Heather, you made my heart soar. That is perfect because you are an artist. Let me see if there's any more that has come in. Jan says, I feel that I am an artist in everything I do, especially in gardening, yes, weaving, knitting, and hooking. Jess says, I was always groomed to be an artist from a kid. However, everyone, including me, thought it would be a hobby, that I would teach art. Profess artists became the way I could earn a living doing it. So being a professor, teaching it, was the way that she could earn a living doing it. Carol says, I do consider myself an artist. Can't draw very well, but I can be creative. And that's a good point, Carol, right? Because there are sculptors that are clearly artists, right? But they probably can't paint. They probably can't draw, right? Not every artist can do everything, right? So the standard that you hold for yourself is not necessarily the standard that everyone else is being held to. Jess says, the reason I say groomed is that I've always been able to draw and everyone did a good job of helping to encourage and push my natural talent, even if they thought it would be hard to make a living. Dara says, I do consider myself an artist. I didn't until I had my first piece in a gallery, not a rug, and someone said to me, so you're the artist. Until that point, I never considered myself that way. So basically, there is not some guy in a big robe who comes by and taps you on the shoulder and says you're an artist, okay? You have to claim it. So the best way to convince yourself that you're an artist is to do what an artist would do. And that is to create every single day, okay? So was a program 20 years ago about hooking 10 minutes a day. And I think it's come back recently. Hooking, I can't remember whose website it is, and that's not really important. What's important is that if you tell yourself, I will only hook for 10 minutes, call it 2 minutes. I'll hook for 2 minutes. Every single day. I promise, I will not miss a day. I can do 120 seconds, and that's all. Okay, you can hook more if you want, but every single day, no matter what, don't miss a day and just do 120 seconds. You can do that, right? If you do miss a day, because stuff happens, like traveling or whatever, you promise yourself that you will not absolutely miss the next day and that you'll pick it up. And before you know it, it'll be easier and easier to think of yourself as an artist. Yay, Kim says, yes, ma'am. I need to order business cards. I'll be adding that. Yay. Jacqueline says, if I'm hooking someone else's pattern and from photos, then I don't feel like I'm an artist. I feel more comfortable calling myself crafty. Well, Jacqueline, what I would recommend is instead of changing what you call yourself, change what you do. Do what an artist would, and you will be an artist. And I really discourage students from working from photos. I think if you do a value study, if you have your color palette put together, all you have to do is figure out value and the direction of your hooking. You can make that rug even better than that photograph. And yeah, I think you can do that. Jess says, can't judge craftsman versus artist, all artists. Historically, craftsmen followed a pattern developed by someone else. Artists created the pattern. I think they are artists in their own right. Yeah, I think that if you're not creating your own, you're missing a little bit of something. You're missing that creative part. Start small. Do something little. Do a series of little mats. Marty says, if anyone tries to create, I believe our artist always is there. I think by the very nature that you create, you become an artist. I listened on my way down to my mom and dad's to the book, not finally because I was going to see my mom and dad. I finally listened to a book that I wanted to listen to, which is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And one of the things he says that makes the difference between keeping a habit and failing at it is, for instance, instead you need to see yourself as the final output. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this. He was saying that if you wanted to quit smoking, don't think of yourself as someone who wants to quit smoking. You start thinking of yourself as a non-smoker. What would a non-smoker do? Or if you wanted to lose weight, you're not a healthy, fit person, but what would a healthy, fit person do? What choices would a healthy, fit person do? So I'm asking you, you want to be an artist? What would an artist do? Let's go out and let's do that, right? Jess says, do what an artist would do, but also do what you are enjoying. We learn from masters in working in their style, then jump off from there to do your own thing. Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things too, one of the quotes that I recorded when I stopped for a meal from the book was, we are more comfortable being wrong, but being in line with the crowd, than being right and being alone. Okay, so what they were doing studies, and they were having, a person, a subject, and then they had actors around them, and they would ask them questions, and that subject would conform to the group, even though he knew the group was wrong. And to a fault, most people did it. Some took longer than others to conform, but they always eventually conformed. So do what you think is right, even if it's not like everybody else, because who wants to be like everybody else, right? Do your own thing. It's better than you think. It really is. So that's it for today. I hope you'll join me tomorrow for the hook-in. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, same time as this lesson, just on a different format. That's it, everybody. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you later.